Dangly grandmas. Dangly grandmas. I say the same thing every time because I find it funny. Hello. Let's see, we got bitch, Toshi, hammy chorklor, hammy forglor, ham blorglor, hammy glor, ham porglor, I don't know. How are you gamers doing on this fine? It's Thursday. Sussy imposter. Only this stream is a bit different because there's not one sussy imposter. Well, no, there's not one death. So this one's different. I hope you're doing well. Let me actually get that loaded so you can actually hear the fucking game. And it would actually really help if I unmuted the game because it's loud on this end. Like the main menu is quite loud on my end, but nothing else is. It's weird. Right. Pretty good. That's poggers. So I'm gonna play the clips of what happened because I like doing that. Season 3 hype is getting so good. It's getting really good. Who died? Okay. I'll show you the clips. But yeah, season 3 is good. I will say I don't want to talk about season 3 much. This isn't a Minecraft stream. But I will remind. Send off Saturday, 6 PM. Right. So we have. Hifumi died. Hifumi fucking died. Also, Taka died too. They both fucking died. It was a fucking double kill. Yeah, let's go fucking find out who killed them. Yo, everyone was so happy when they found out Hifumi died. But yeah, I'm on the Deadly Life now. Hopefully the audio's good and things. Hifumi's body discovered in the nurse's office. Taka's body discovered in the equipment room. Also Toshi, I hope you've got your notepad out once again. Discord mod, fuck you. Honestly, I'm glad. I was witness to 2 nightmares, one after right after another. Is the volume okay? It feels like it's really loud. No, they weren't nightmares. This is harsh reality. Suspicious. Let's get my Monokuma ready. The true nightmare is this reality, the reality I have to face every fucking day. I am done with this bullshit, but still. Why is this happening? We don't fucking know, Makoto Naegi. So, oh shit! Is Toko dead? Toko? Don't tell me Toko too! No, she just fucking passed out when she saw the blood because she's a bitch. The blood? What do you mean, the blood? There's blood here? Oh yeah, she has a fear of blood, doesn't she? Yeah, just leave her be. Just leave her alone. It's like he said, I could just leave her alone for now. And I would love to do that because it's Toko. Oh shit. Taka. So, to recap what happened, I think the recap will start once we get to the actual investigation. We're still checking something. The floor is covered in Taka's drying blood. Another hammer. Now it's Josh, this hammer's 4 and it's even bigger than before. Okay, I'll give a little recap for anyone who doesn't remember what happened. So, we were all vibing in the dining hall. Then all of a sudden we went to go find people because we were in there for like an hour or so and no one had shown up. We go into the rec room and find Celeste has been attacked by a small hammer that said Justice Hammer 1 on it. Then she's shown us a picture of Hifumi being dragged away by some robot looking thing. That's fair, Toshi, that's fine. So he gets dragged away by this robot-looking thing. I mean, she shows a picture of it. She doesn't actually we don't see it happening. But But then we find Hifumi in the library, and he is like covered in blood. Still alive, he's covered in blood. But on the ground was Justice Hammer 2. It was slightly bigger than the last one. But then we find Hifumi's body in the nurse's office not long after. Dead. With Justice Hammer 3, even bigger than before. And we've just discovered Taka's dead body. Also dead body. With Justice Hammer 4, which is even bigger. But yeah. It's even bigger than before. Is that suspicious individual? I love the word suspicious individual. It's great.
However...
But why is it Justice Hammer 4? What do you mean? Celeste was a hit with Justice Hammer 1, and then if he was a hit with Justice Hammer 2, but this one was Justice Hammer 4. What happens to number 3?
What?
What's the matter? Well, when you mentioned Justice Hammer 3, you just reminded me.
What?
Do you know something? Taka's not the only one that's been killed. Hifumi's dead too.
What? Hey!
Hifumi's been killed? Thank fuck.
I see.
Which is why you came to get us. You don't fucking say. Hello, Lion. Hi, Lion. We've just discovered a body. Then we better go check it out.
Damn.
Yeah, let's go check out Hifumi. So Sakura, Byakuya and I rushed out of the physics lab. But as soon as we were out of the physics lab...
Oh.
Ah. So I thought you were supposed to be waiting in the nurse's office? Something has come up. Yeah, I heard. Hifumi's dead, right?
Indeed.
Well, that is not all. It is gone. What's gone? It has disappeared. Disappeared? Hifumi's body has disappeared. What?
What did you say?
What are you talking about? It's disappeared? Don't be fucking ridiculous, you dumb bitch.
Come on.
You serious?
What?
What the heck is happening here?
Hey!
Everyone back to the fucking nurse's office. I'm swearing a lot, but I can't be asked to voice act tonight. I practically leapt down the stairs, nearly losing my balance. I reached the nurse's office, completely out of breath. I couldn't believe my eyes. Hifumi's body was there just a few minutes earlier. It just disappeared. Pog Hina. Hina Pog. Hina Pogging. It's a very good one. Me and Celeste went to the bathroom. But we were only gone for like a minute. And then when we got back...
Indeed.
This must be the work of the culprit. He must have come and carried the body away. He must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
What did
I
you
don't
say?
believe this. I don't believe a body would just disappear.
Why?
First there were 2 murders and one of the bodies have been taken? This is unnatural. No way they enjoyed carrying Hifumi. No shit.
Huh?
What do you mean 2 murders?
Hina.
Taka's been killed. We found him in the equipment room.
No way!
Can't be Taka too. Can't be.
No!
What do you mean no?
Hina.
Hina, calm the fuck down, bitch. We're all gonna die. All of us. They're gonna kill all of us. Then who might the next target be? Toko?
What?
I completely forget she's still unconscious in the equipment room.
Well...
After seeing her crying, you dumb fuck. We have a choice. She passed out and she refused to wake up.
Huh?
So she is still unconscious?
Damn.
Wait, so you knew she was still up there and said nothing? Why? An annoying little insect that clings to me wherever I go? We better off about her.
Bastard!
Bastard. Not wrong. Calm down. You forget about her, didn't you? You have no right to blame me. Stop fucking fighting, you fucking dumb fuck. Have an Amogus.
Huh?
I don't want anyone else to die too fucking bad, Hina, because people are gonna die.
Damn.
If something happens to Taka, I will never forgive you, you dumb fuck. Shut up the nurse's office and bolted up the stairs, heading back to the 3rd floor. Wait, what, people die? In Danganronpa? Don't be ridiculous. We ran back to the equipment room at full speed when we got there. She's still there. She's still alive. Toko? Thank God you're okay. But right away I noticed. There was something very different here. It was It's gone. Taka's body, which had been right here, disappeared.
This
cannot be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something? No, it's not a hallucination. I know I saw it before. What I'm seeing now isn't what I saw before. Get treated for murder at the hospital. Alright, Scott the Wars references. I'm a huge advocate for murder. Oh yeah, same. Taka disappeared too?
Stop talking.
Stop saying disappeared. It didn't just vanish into thin air. Obviously whoever did this has hidden the body. You don't fucking say Biak here. Ignore the specifics. We know what we mean. But why would they ever do that? Could possibly begin to imagine. Are you a murderer? I do it every day. Anyway, our costume suspect is clearly continuing his crime spree. We've got to hurry up and catch him before he kills all of us.
Not possible.
Oh, I don't think you have to worry about that. Huh? Think about it, you dumb fuck. Who could possibly be responsible for killing and hiding these dead bodies?
Well,
When Hifumi's death cry went up, everyone here was together on the 3rd floor.
it is so.
After that, we split into 2 groups. And now this time, you all came here as a group for the nurse's office. In other words, the only ones who could have done this are Hiro and Kyoko, who are still missing. Hold the fuck on. Kyoko has an alibi for when Celeste and Hifumi were attacked. There's no question that she was in the dining hall with us. You seem very adamant about defending her. Perhaps you are in love. That's not it at all, you dumb fuck.
That's fine.
Well, anyway, yes, I do accept Kyoko's alibi.
Let's see.
Which means that the suspicious individual we're looking for can be none other than Hiro? Which further means there'll be no more murders. The regulations are very clear about that. There's a rule that says you can only kill a maximum of 2 people.
That's right.
As long as that rule is in place, there will not be a 3rd murder. If they were to break that rule... Mincia! Mincia without a second thought! Mincia, grind your tongue into paste! By the way, did you know that fish paste can also refer to shellfish, like shrimp and crabs? Indeed. Thank you for the fun fact, Monokuma. So since 2 people have been killed, there is no possibility of any more.
Perhaps.
You know that from the beginning, didn't you, Byakuya? Which means you knew Tuka was never in a danger. I still meant it when I said we'd be better off without her, though.
In other words...
Anyway, with that in mind, we can now relax and search for the 2 missing bodies. The 2 missing bodies. 2 people have been killed and their bodies have been hidden. The only one with that alibi, the only one who could have done it is Hiro. But is he really the killer? And what about Kyoko? If she's not involved in this case, where did she go?
What?
Hey Makoto, what the fuck is the matter? It's nothing. That his arse was about to appear. His arse. Whatever. We need to find those bodies or our little narrative here can't move forward.
So then.
Very well. Now let's split up and begin searching.
But
There is no need to be afraid. No more murders will take place during the case.
because I
I know that. I mean, I think I do, but
Hina.
if you're so nervous, I'll come with you.
Huh?
Okay, thank you. No need to thank me. Let's get moving. Yell out if you find anything. Bitchface left the equipment room, followed by the others. I have to try and find the 2 missing bodies. So, hey, what are we doing in... Oh yeah, the repository. The investigation hasn't even started yet. We're in daily life, but the investigation itself hasn't actually started yet. Because we have to find those bodies first. Huh? The door must be locked.
Huh?
Where could 2 dead bodies have disappeared to?
Damn.
We need to search for the bodies that have disappeared. What happens after that? Bitch was addressing me. I thought to myself that as well. Because typically Bitchface is you. Because you are Bitchface. I don't call you anything other than Bitchface. But still. I don't actually remember where I'm supposed to be going. I think it's one of those things where someone yells out. I think that's what it is anyway. I think someone yells when I leave a certain amount of rooms. Yeah, there you go. Close enough. Makoto,
Come on.
why are you just standing there? We need to get to the repository. Huh? You mean...
Indeed.
I found them. Hifumi and Taka's bodies have both been hidden in the repository.
Goodbye.
I've already told Hina and Sakura. We'll go on ahead. The bodies are in the repository? Okay, let's fucking go. The body's here somewhere? Up ahead is the repository. Doorknob turned. Guess it's unlocked. I have no choice but to go inside. So I opened the door, and when I entered, I saw. There they are. Peekaboo! The two bodies that had disappeared were right there. Sussy. The smell of blood made me gag. What I saw before my eyes was unquestionable, unavoidable, unwavering reality. There they are! The two people we know are dead? And then I heard the announcement for a second time.
A body
It's
has
been
been
discovered.
discovered. After a certain amount of time,
Which
which
you
you
may
may
use
use
however
however
you
you
like,
like,
The
the
class trial will begin. And so here we are.
It's the Monokuma file!
Sean loves it when he says that. Like whenever we played through the game, Sean would always like try and say it whenever Monokuma's like, the Monokuma file! I was going to hand them all out when you found the bodies the first time, but I thought something might happen.
What?
It was really hard to resist, but turns out I was right.
Stop talking.
Just hand it over already.
Punishment is waiting for you.
Make sure to investigate with all of your mental might. Prepare for the class trial.
See ya later!
Here's Ev. Yeah, 2 days remaining until season 2 fucking dies. Saturday. 6 PM UK time is when the stream starts, but the actual like celebration send off will be at 9 PM. Well then. Now that we find the bodies, all that's left is to uncover the culprit. I cannot talk today.
What the heck?
Hold on. How can you be so calm? Very emotional time for you. It's very emotional for me as well. I run the server. I mean, they're dead, you know?
That's
Dead.
terrible.
Gone forever. They're never coming back. Awful. It's just too awful. Hina suddenly burst into tears. Hit me up when he gives us some Monokuma fillet instead. Yeah, there's a copy of Zeph placed at the Firebox display. She clutched at Hifumi's lifeless body.
Who would do this? Why? Why?
Hang on, I'll move my face so you can actually see her a bit better. Large, wet tears fell from her eyes. Here's Zeph. The tears landed on Hifumi's cheeks. If this was some world of make-believe, there might have been when Hifumi opened his eyes. But this wasn't a movie. This wasn't... Fuck, he's still alive.
He's alive again?
Fuck, he's still alive. Die again.
Where am I? Cold. So cold. Is winter coming?
Hifumi! Wake up!
Huh? That's right. I remember now. Hope's Peak.
Come on, you gotta wake up!
I remember everything. Before I met you all. I met you all.
His memories are blending together. He's nothing useful to offer us.
The light. It's reaching out to me. Like the tail of a comet.
Hey, Hifumi! Who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yasu. Hiro.
His eyes closed. No, not Discord mod. It's always username referring to Discord mod. But his eyes closed and they never opened again. So user, what are you going to do in future streams? Because your first message in Danganronpa streams are always about Discord mod. He's actually dead now. Death for the second time. Absolute, undeniable death. No matter how many more of his heinous tears splashed his face, there was no second miracle. Reality set in again. This isn't some stereotypical fantasy world. Tears can't restore a person's vitality.
Honestly.
You have no tears, do you? No blood in your veins, no calcium in your bones. At least you have your meat. Celeste, what? At least you have your meat.
Stop talking.
He was just angry. I'm mourning for the rest of time. Yum. You're just angry. Going out of his way to return just to leave us with those unnecessary dying words. And this game has become exceedingly boring. You said Yasuhiro, right?
Then perhaps...
Yasuhiro Hagakure. That is the only person he could have been referring to. She's got priorities.
So in other words...
And with that, the case is solved. Assaulting people and even killing Taka and Hifumi, and then going so far to hide the bodies. A criminal that hides his face behind a mask and uses a bunch of giant wooden hammers. Is that what Hero is?
What is this?
If it's true, I can't forgive him. No way I can ever forgive him. To kill two of our friends.
That's fine.
Anyway, it's about time we track down the culprit in our little life or death game here. Who's Hero? Hedgehog hair. Spiky hair. Although this time is not all that life and death, the trial will conclude without much trouble.
Indeed.
Yes, it does look that way. It's going to begin again. We have to go through this one more time. I have to accept it. I have no choice but to go through with this to make sure everyone survives. I just have to do it. Right? Right, first I better check the Monokuma file. So this is when the investigation actually begins. The victims were Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotaka Ishimaru. The cause of death? For each was a blow to the head. It is thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon. That's it.
Very strange.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. We get way less information this time before. That is no problem. After all, the events of this case unfolded before our very eyes. We should know more about what happened in the Monokuma file code anyway. Maybe.
Well,
There's something else that's bothering me. Someone else has been missing for quite a while. About Kyoko?
perhaps.
Without a doubt, she has an alibi for when Celeste and Hifumi were attacked. But what if the killer wasn't acting alone? What if they had an accomplice? This was the point I said could be either better to I said could be kind of better to stop it maybe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So the end of last stream I was debating to myself whether to end off where we did or end off here. But I feel like this might have been a better place to end. That place was a better place to end off because this actually does continue things. I don't know. An accomplice? What are you doing here?
Monokuma
Don't be rude. I'm here to answer your question. What question?
Yep.
You're talking about accomplices, right? I'm pretty sure I explained it before, didn't I? During the first class trial?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Yeah. Everything. Actually, Sean, that explains it really well. When I first played Chapter 3, so much was going on. Like, you had the screaming, all the crying, people getting attacked, people, finding the bodies being moved. He's suddenly awake again. It gets really overwhelming. I think breaking up where we did was a good idea. But we can actually talk to Sakura in a second, and she can recap what happened. So if anyone did miss some of it, we can talk to her and she'll run through what happened. If anyone is a little bit confused.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
In other words...
So basically, you can be an accomplice if you want, but there's no gratification in it.
So then...
So are you saying nobody worked together this time either?
Hey!
Sorry, can't answer that. You'll disrupt the free exchange of information between you guys. Want to stick a butter on screen? I just want to make sure you don't forget, no matter how much you might assist in the matter.
Phew.
Only one blackened can graduate. An accomplice gets nothing.
So in other words...
Then we only need to figure out that one blackened that did the killing, right? Just like normal.
Well...
Okay, let me take this opportunity to clarify the whole shebang. In this class trial, what you need to determine is the one true blackened that devised the murder plot and put it into action. True blackened? So just one person?
Well now...
That's enough for explainifying. Now it's into the final battle between all of you and the blackened. Good luck to all the contestants. Bondo matter. So there can only be one blackened, and an accomplice wouldn't benefit. And I can't see what any way Kyoko would be connected to the case after all. You may be right. If one imposter killed Discord mod and then the other one killed Papyrus. And if one imposter killed Discord mod, then the other one killed Papyrus. So you're saying if there were two killers and they each killed a different person? Because what Monokuma just said is that you need to find out the one true blackened. So if there is an accomplice, you have to find out, I guess, the one that's behind it? I don't know. Yeah, so one person can kill two people. No more than two people are allowed to be killed by one person. Kyoko, where the fuck are you?
However...
As long as she's not connected to the case, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the investigation.
Indeed.
I have absolutely no doubt that Hero is responsible. But for the time being, I suppose it can't hurt to pursue further information.
So,
don't you think we should consider a certain someone a suspect, just in case? I'm talking about the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. What? I'm offended. What the fuck did you... I've been looking all over for you, Master. When I woke up, you were nowhere to be found. Yeah, so this is something which I didn't forget about this. Toko refers to Byakuya as Master a lot. Get used to it. I had to. Anyway, you swim or go.
Huh? You gotta be kidding!
Why do I gotta be a suspect?
What the heck?
Well, I mean, you are a serial killer. So what? Am I like a special guest suspect every time? I have an alibi, you know. She's right about that. When we heard Hifumi scream, she was with me. When the body disappeared, she was still lying unconscious in the equipment room. Last Taka's body aside, I can't imagine any way she would have been able to move Hifumi's body.
Yep.
Besides, I calculate every move I make. I'm not going to kill someone when everyone knows what I look like. They didn't call me the murderous fiend for nothing.
What are you saying?
It's not the kind of thing you should be bragging about.
Let's see.
On another topic, should we post a guard where the bodies up before? We can't have them disappearing again.
So then...
Hina or I can handle that. You don't mind, do you, Hina? Sure, I'll be totally useless on the investigation anyway.
It's all clear
And
now.
that's that. Let's begin. This whole thing is so strange. All but one of us have an alibi, so figuring out who did it should be obvious, right? But maybe it's just me, but I don't think this is going to be as straightforward as it seems. Trust me, it's not. This case, it's good. Alright, let's start with Taka. Let's start with Papyrus. I can't do my Papyrus voice anymore because he's dead. Taka, he'll never move again. According to the Monokuma file, Taka died from a blow to the head. She'll have to alter ego in the whole calling people master. Oh yeah, 100%. We found Justice Hammer 4 near his body in the equipment room. Is that what used to kill him? And there's a top blade out under his body. Did the killer use this to move his body? Sadly, yeah. There's a huge plus in my book. Honestly, I like this case. This is one of my favorites. One of my favorite cases, this one. So, I like this one. That way there wouldn't be any blood left behind or the body was moved. Blue tops added to the truth bullet section in your handbook. Hifumi's big, cold body is laying on the floor. His really big body. I mean, how on earth was the killer able to move someone so big? From the nurse's office, where he was discovered, to here, the repository. All the way from the first floor to the third. And all without anyone noticing it? How the hell? It's no good, I just don't get it. I can think about it later. For now, I have to finish investigating Hifumi himself. If I remember correctly, Hifumi's fatal injury was also a blow to the head. Probably from Justice Hammer 3, which was laying on the floor in the nurse's office. Oh wait, something's off about his body. Why am I getting this feeling? He's so flat. He's 2D! Oh no! Something's different. Something about Hifumi's body in the nurse's office versus his body right now. Can anyone figure out what it is? His glasses! When his body was in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. But now they're completely clean. Does that mean someone wiped his glasses off? Who would do that and why? This? It's a dolly. It doesn't have a handle. I saw this in the art room before. I guess it's used to move statues around. It's kind of awkward, but if you bend down it's not too hard to use. But wait. Wasn't this in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? And look at that wheel. There's a blood stain on it. So there's blood on the wheel of the dolly that was moved from the equipment room to the repository. What's the explanation for that? The fuck do you think, Makoto? You moron. There are hammers of all different sizes hanging on the wall, although some are more like mallets. Mallets? Could the Justice hammers have been designed using these as a model? Either way, all the hammers here have obviously seen a lot of use. They're all covered in debris and chalky stone powder. Wait. For some reason this one hammer isn't dirty at all, and it's wet. Did someone wash it recently? Spotless hammer has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Because no one would give two shits about the glasses IRL. Byaki, do you think Hiro already did it? I don't see how anyone else could think otherwise. When the attacks and murders and all disappearance all happened, every one of us had an alibi. The last thing Hifumi said when he died? Yeah, he said Hiro's name.
So in other words...
And there was no room to suspect anyone else. Okay, but if he did do it, why would he hide his identity with that weird costume? Maybe he thought no matter what happened, he'd be safe as long as his face was covered? Because he's the fool of the century, you see? I mean, he is kind of dumb. But do you really think that's enough to explain it? I feel there's a clue in there somewhere.
What?
And is that it? That's all that bothers you about the case? Well, no, there are a few other things. Like, why did the killer try to hide the bodies? Probably figured if we couldn't find the bodies, we couldn't complete our investigation. If that's the case, we found the bodies pretty easily, didn't we? Again, it comes back to the fact the culprit was a moron. Is that really all there is to it? The other thing that bothers me is, why'd they bother killing two people?
What?
So all the rule says is if you can kill someone and get away with it, you graduate, right? So if you're the killer, your number one priority is not getting caught. But killing two people means more clues, more chances you'll get found out.
I see.
Hold on, perhaps. I see, so that's what that means. Is everything okay?
That's enough.
Don't talk to me as if we're friends. What's the attitude, you dumb fuck? Look at him! But you have my appreciation.
Goodbye.
Thanks to you, I might have some fun with it after all. His mysterious words hung in the air as if when he left the repository. To be talking to me? Shut the fuck up, you bitch! You are acting rather suspicious. I don't have my gun. I can't point the gun at you. I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I put it somewhere during a stream, but I don't actually remember where that somewhere was. I really don't remember where I put it. It's not important. I'll find it some other time. In the loo? Maybe. The mysterious words? Yeah, okay. He talked as if he'd figured something out. But if he did, would it have killed him to tell me what it was? Do you have anything to wipe the whiteboard with? I have a Monokuma. He'll wipe it with despair. Echoless, use add permitted term. Wipe the white. Fucking hell, Twitch. The filtering is really bad. It filtered out wipe the white. Hang on, Makoto, I've been thinking about something. It's for the repository. Huh? What is it? After Hifumi and Taka's body disappeared, we split to look around, right? I was really scared, so me and Sakura stuck together.
But...
And we came right to the repository to, you know, look around. But when we got here, the repository was locked. We couldn't get inside. It's locked? And we came here as soon as the search... Hang on, it was locked? Makoto, you checked it yourself. We came here as soon as the search started, so there's no way someone could have beat us here. So if that's true, then who locked it? And why is it unlocked now? I wonder the same thing. The door was locked when the search for the bodies began, but now it's wide open. There might be some secret lurking in there. We'll probably have to leave this area to figure it out. Yeah, exactly. He knows we tried. I don't know if you actually have to try the door, but we did. Because I know where the bodies were. Stream delay? Refresh. There's only one way in and out of this room, through the door that Hina said was locked before. There's definitely a lock on the door, but it can only be locked from inside the repository. Celeste found it, didn't she? Found what? Oh yeah, Celeste found the bodies, didn't she? I think? I can't remember if Celeste or Byakuya found the bodies, but they both came to Makoto, so I don't know who actually found it. But it can only be locked from inside the repository. I don't see any way to lock it from in the art room. The door can only be locked inside the repository, which makes me wonder. Oh, it's mobile. Yeah. Hina and Sakura confirmed that the door was locked after we started looking for missing bodies. And the door is designed so that it can only be locked from inside the repository. In other words, when Hina checked it, someone had already gone into the repository and locked the door. When they were done, they unlocked it and left, which is why it's unlocked now. But Hina claims there's no way someone could have beaten them to the repository. That's certain someone. There's got to be a clue in here somewhere. Maybe I should check somewhere else. There are some places I already know about. First, the nurse's office, where Hifumi was found, and the equipment room, where Taka was found. Right, let's investigate. Also, there was a drawing of a Teletubby in there. It looked like a Teletubby anyway. I don't like being in the art room too much because of the statues, and I don't know what Twitch is like with literal statues. There's some kind of tire mark going through the pool of blood in the middle of the room. That reminds me about the dolly in the repository. There was blood on its tire. Could that blood have come from... No! An Among Us in the other room? What, ain't a Amalgos? Here? Which could mean that Taka's body was moved from the equipment room to the repository using the dolly. Both rooms on the third floor, so that definitely should have been possible. But even if the dolly was used to move Taka's body, what about Hifumi? Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office on the first floor. Even with a dolly, there's no way to get it up to the third floor. Total mystery. Next to the door is the animation. I'll have a look. Oh, this tarp. I feel like I've seen it somewhere before, just recently too. I was sleeping right here when the killer carried the body away.
What?
I'm super pissed I missed such an ultimately rare event. Just number 4, the weapon that was used to kill Taka. The body was moved, but the murder weapon was just left here. So you said there's an Among Us when I click on the... yeah? Is that a poop behind me? Where? A poop? Where is the poop? I see no poop. When I enter the room next to the door is the animation. Where? Where's the Amogos? Right side of the door. Oh, the blue thingy. I see the Amogos. The Amogai. I thought the cushion was poop. That's a little chair. It's a little chair. Not literal shit, Sean. Hey, Hilly. Corner of it. Fair. Poop. Danganronpa Decadence comes to Nintendo Switch tomorrow. Watching Among Us anime. Honestly, that did remind me of Ultra Despair Girls. So Ultra Despair Girls, hang on, I'll talk about this one in a sec. Let's look at this to see Robot Man. We're investigating the bodies now. Hello, Celeste. What are you investigating, Celeste? I'm not investigating anything, precisely speaking. I'm simply going around seeing if Hero might be hiding somewhere. What about you? Oh, you know, I'm just checking this and that. The main thing in my mind is how someone could have been moved to Hifumi's body.
Let's see.
How Hifumi was moved, eh? When it disappeared, you were supposed to be in the nurse's office, right?
Yes,
Correct.
indeed.
Hina's not feeling well, so I stayed behind to look after her. But she seemed to be getting worse, so I took her to the bathroom. When you got back, the body was gone? It could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. Yeah, Hina said the same thing. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? 1 second, line.
Indeed.
It would seem so. To carry off someone as big as Hifumi in only a couple of minutes is... I can't think of it as anything less than impossible. Right. I don't know what else there is to investigate here. Left the weapon behind. A refrigerator, I wonder if there's anything to drink inside. After everything I've been through, I'm totally parched. Maybe just a quick peek. There's a bunch of blood packets in there for blood transfusions, I guess. Doesn't help me though, I'm not a vampire. Multiple people, what do you mean? It's just a normal trash can. Wait, there's something inside. It's too small to be a handkerchief, it's a glasses cleaning cloth. And it's got some kind of cartoon character on it. But it's also covered in blood.
Oh.
Ah, did you find something? Yeah, there's a cleaning cloth in the trash can.
Huh?
A cleaning cloth? And it's all bloody. Whoever this belonged to must have used it to wipe some blood. But who would need to do something like that? I haven't the slightest idea. So when I think if he was dead, well, Taka killed him and then Taka died, so I have no clue. Yeah, me either. But I think it might be important. Yeah, so Ultra Despair Girls. So Ultra Despair Girls basically happens in between the first game and the second game. Happens in between, but you won't really you won't really understand Ultra Despair Girls until after the second game because there's things in there. But it's a really questionable game. There are some very scenes, very weird scenes, which I do not want to discuss. But it does add a lot to the story. So I feel like once we're done with the second game, I might watch like a video summarizing what happens, because there's like a really long timeline of Danganronpa video that I watch. It's literally like 3.5 hours long, and it goes over literally the entire Danganronpa like timeline. It's really good. And it goes over Ultra Despair Girls, which we might have to do, Because Ultra Despair Girls, it does add a lot to the story and it's really interesting. But also it's... Yikes. Not the scenes don't add to the story, it's everything else. Yeah, the scenes don't add to the story. The story adds to the story. But the scenes just make you think, oh, what were the developers on when they made this game? I'll be watching the next games. I'm enjoying the streams, but a friend really wants me to play with them. That's fair. That's fair. You have? I wanted to thank you for what you did. Not that you meant to, but you ended up making this little game of ours very interesting indeed. You should go to Hero's room. Oh, and let me give you this. Meet in the dining hall. This is the note Hero wrote to get us all to meet up, right? Things make you think Danganronpa should not be tackling these subjects. What do they do? Yeah. So, what I will say about Ultra Despair Girls is that the antagonists, or the bad characters, they are some very questionable children. They're all children, and they're very questionable. That's all I want to say. You remember well. Well, the penmanship was pretty remarkable, so it left an impression.
It's all clear.
Anyway,
now.
this makes it clear, right? This is a trap. What is? Things grow ever more exciting. What are you talking about? I've already repaid my debt. I don't owe you any more explanation.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes, a hero's message has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. So we said to go to Hero's room, but what's waiting for me there? Death. Oh god, a third body? Yakovich. The door is unlocked. I guess I can go inside. Yaki did say to go look. Might be a great idea, but I'm going to take the plunge. Also, this investigation is quite a long one. But it's still not as long as the other games. Honestly, investigations and trials in Danganronpa 1, they're nothing compared to the later games. Like, when I get to like the second game, I might have to change it to like 3 streams a week of Danganronpa. But like, the investigation might be just the smaller stream. We'll do the daily life on a Tuesday and the trial on Thursdays as normal. But the investigations in the later games might just be a smaller stream on Wednesday or something, because it gets really long. In the stream we can do this. Yeah, we're doing the trials this stream. So in the first game, Danganronpa 1, the trials aren't as long, so we'll be able to do the investigation and the trial in one stream. We should be done with the investigation probably about half an hour or so, and then the trial lasts about 2-3 hours. About that. This is Hero's room. There's all kinds of weird stuff in here. Where did he even get it all from? More importantly, he still hasn't signed up. Half the time investigation and triple the time of the trials. Yeah. The investigations don't feel as long in the later games, but the trials are way longer. Which means he can't really complain if I don't get his permission to search his room, right? Not the bed. It's an old bed, which is like the one in my room. It's a bed, I know. I think there's something in the cardboard box. It's blueprints for something. And some things made out of, looks like cardboard, plastic and plaster? Is this Robo-Justice? And it's in Hero's room. But wait, these blueprints, something about them bothers me. Robo-Justice blueprints. Mikado, big news, big news! Instead of bed, I thought that was a very early copy of the Minecraft 1.19 Wild update. What's wrong? We found Kyoko! What? She okay? Where the fuck is she? I wasn't done. There's more big news.
Just a second.
Robo-Justice showed up too. Oh, that's Gex. Robo-Justice? It's Hero wearing the costume.
Okay.
Anyway, as soon as you can, head to the pool on the second floor. Do you think Hero and Kyoko will turn up at the same time? Let's head to the pool. When I was on the second floor as fast as I could. Ooh. tension. Kyoko and
I mean...
Hifumi have had the worst day. Hero? Hero?
Huh? Oh, hey, Makoto.
Yeah, duh, who else would I be? That's a good question.
Huh?
What? What do I look like this? Did someone come along and remodel me while I was sleeping? Was it the Illuminati?
Huh?
Did the Illuminati come along and remodel me in my sleep?
Right.
I found Hero. He was jammed into the pool room locker. It looked like he was fast asleep, so I kicked him and woke him up.
Don't be mean.
I still can't believe you kicked me. Could have been a little more gentle about it. Like, I don't know, caress my face or something.
What?
That's creepy. Anyway, Kyoko, where have you been all this time? You just disappeared all of a sudden without a trace.
Well,
There's something I have to check up on. What do you mean? Never mind. I can't never mind.
it's nothing.
Never mind.
Hey,
More importantly, she says that, but doesn't she have any idea? Does she know people think she might be spying for the mastermind?
and?
First of all, Hero, you need to explain to us why you're dressed like that.
I mean...
Oh, well, I mean, I have no idea. 1 second I was asleep, didn't even know how that happened. Then I woke up, then I was here. I don't care. Do something about that costume. It pains me just to look at you.
Huh?
Ash, how you doing? Hope that's pronounced right. How are you doing? He, they, pronouns. That's very PogChamp. Happy to hear that. Hope you're doing well. Well, I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid friggin' thing.
It would seem...
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. Moron. Hero, I swear, you... Oh, I just lowered my chair on accident. For some reason I thought to grab the lever on my chair without even thinking and then pulled on it. Why did I do that? On autopilot. I do dumb things on autopilot. Slash is very poggers. So this is cool. Looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him. Who died? I've played this game like 5 times. What's the bloody... Hifumi and Taka. Yeah, Taka and Hifumi. I know these characters. I've played through this game 5 times. That's not an exaggeration. I genuinely have. It took everyone's help, but slowly we were able to get Hero out of the suit. Yeah, it's spoiler free, because not everyone here has played it. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. Took a few minutes, but eventually we got all the pieces off. Ooh, free at last. Isn't it kind of weird how perfectly the suit fits Hero?
So
More to the
then,
point, nobody at Hero would be able to wear that costume. Hold on a sec.
honestly,
I can't voice act today. Normally I do more wacky voices, but I can't do it tonight. Don't bother trying to act innocent. The blueprints were in your room as well. I'll be honest, I don't know what that stands for. Unless I'm being dumb. Don't bother trying to act innocent, but the blueprints were in your room as well.
is that okay?
In other words, it is obvious to everyone that you made this costume. That'll explain why I don't know why it stands for. It's a Sean thing. That's true, I saw the blueprints myself. Yeah, me too.
Could it
Then it's
be-
obvious, the one who put this costume on and went around attacking everyone
That's
was
terrible.
Hero. Shall we tie him up and gag him? Of course, Celeste would ask that.
Just the worst.
Good idea, we wouldn't want him killing anyone else.
What?
Tie me up! And that's what he says? That's what he responds to? Hold on, guys, I think that's a little too far.
That's right.
He may be a suspect, but he deserves fair treatment. Yeah, I mean, attacking, blueprints, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
What the heck?
You can't talk your way out of this. It's been decided you killed them. Killed who? I have no idea what you're talking about. You must be a fake hero running around.
What are you
You're the only one who can wear this costume. Who else could possibly be the costumed attacker?
What the heck?
How do you know I'm the only one? Maybe you should focus on yourself before you convict me. No, try it on for yourself, not focus on yourself.
Okay.
Figure it like an imposter. Suspicious. Fine. If you can be a jerk about it, I will. Without missing a bit, Hina started putting on the Robo Justice costume.
Huh. See? Look. See how loose it is? I mean, come on. I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
It's a dumb scene.
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
Totally can't bend at the waist.
That's not a very nice thing to say. I mean, it's not like I made it. I just got caught up in the moment.
Well, either way, now we know for sure, right? I mean, it seems pretty clear that nobody but Hiro could have fit into this dumb costume.
In a huff, Hida took the suit back off again. Well, now you're all out of excuses. See, it's because you're a girl. If it was another guy, then... Makoto, go ahead. Okay. Against my will, I picked up the pieces off the floor. Try putting them on. It's no good. The arms are too long. There's no way I can wear this.
Just a second!
See, I told you it was impossible. You're absolutely right. It seems this costume is made to fit Hiro's body exactly.
But...
Then there's another costume. You must have one that looks the same but fits them.
Honestly.
If you insist on this line of defense, then show us some evidence.
what the heck?
Evidence? You claim there was another suit, yes? And you must find it and show it to us. The heck?
Just the worst.
Who cares? Hiro's the only one without an alibi during this whole thing anyway.
That's terrible!
Which is how we know it was him. I genuinely need to play Ace Attorney. People keep telling me to play it, and I genuinely haven't yet. I mean, is that really true? I have no idea what's been happening. Could someone, like, tell me? It's looking more and more like it really was a setup.
What the heck?
If you don't tell me what's going on, how am I supposed to understand? I think I figured out that someone's been killed, right? Hey Makoto, who was it? Well, 2 people were killed. Taka and Hifumi. 2 people?
Just the worst.
Why are you freaking out? You did it.
Huh?
If those 2 are the ones that were killed,
How about that?
that's it. I know who did it.
So then,
You may as well just tell us then. Taka and Hifumi are fighting over Alter Ego, right?
I'm at least
Which means Alter
30%
Ego
right.
and or Chihiro must have done it.
correct.
I see. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate?
What the heck?
Stop trying to trick us. Just admit that you did it, okay? Hero sucks at Among Us. Oh yeah, the dead guy and a laptop committed the murder. I'm telling you, you got it all wrong.
Oh,
Oh, I know that
so
note.
then.
No? Last night, someone slipped a weird note under my door. And that's what it said. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monica and McCann find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 AM. The last thing I remember is going to the rec room and then for some reason I fell asleep.
Hey.
The real killer probably drugged me or something.
Just the worst.
Not a chance.
So...
No, hold on. You could be onto something. The nurse's office did have chemicals that could do that.
Huh?
Ready? I told you, someone's trying to set me up. A secret passage, a chance to escape, someone right there to trick me. Even if that's true, you must be one dumb fish to bite every piece of bait that floats in front of you. True, I mean he is a complete moron. We'll have to be entrapped here for so long, even if you know it's a lie, you still gotta check, right? They preyed on my desire to get out of here, they deceived me. I still don't buy it.
Don't
You're a bit
be
suspicious.
mean.
Well, you should buy it.
Just a second.
And show us that note. With pleasure, I have it right here in my pocket.
No way.
It looks like I lost it. Sure. It's complete. You gotta believe me, I wouldn't know how to fly. As I said before, if you want us to believe you, you must produce evidence. Can you show us the note? Good job, hero. I mean, user, with Hifumi dead, you've got to pick on the hedgehog now. You've got to. I have no particular issue with what you claim, but But if you want us to believe you, give us a reason. The heck? You serious? Now then, shall we resume our investigation? So we don't have to wait before the class trial begins. Why do we need to keep investigating? We already know who did it.
What the heck?
Why did you kill them? Tell us, hero. No, it's like I said.
Just the worst.
Was it ready to get the money Monokuma offered us? This is Hifumi, honestly. Honestly, most of us did. The username referred to him as a Discord moderator. And everyone else just hated him. He must be totally broke, and that's why... That's a false accusation. Someone help me.
What are you saying?
Be thankful we haven't bound and gagged you. If you have time to yell and carry on, you have time to search your evidence, right?
What?
You're right, I need to look for the second suit on that note. If you don't fail me now, I guess I better get back to being on guard duty. I was going to ask Toko at Genocide Jack to switch with me. But if she and Sakura are going to a fight, we'll have a catastrophe, right? I can't talk tonight, I swear. If she and Sakura got into a fight, we'd have a catastrophe on our hands. Thankfully the trial starts soon, so I don't need to talk as much. But my god, Hifumi more like bad. Honestly, I'm glad he's dead. Makoto, do you have a second? Huh? I need to help me with the investigation.
It would seem...
It looks like I got a late start on this one, so I need you to make up some ground. Sure, I don't mind helping, but can you promise me something? Later when we have time, will you tell me why you disappeared?
Why is that?
No. To reject me so simply.
Anyway,
I need your help. You don't mind, do you? Okay.
shall we go?
Thanks. Now then, shall we?
Hey.
Suspicious, Kyoko. So, Makoto, first I'd like you to examine the corpses. Well, I'd like to examine the corpses. I can't believe I'm hearing that from a girl the same age as me.
Correct.
Dead bodies don't lie, you know. They tell the truth far more easily than the living.
Hey.
Wouldn't you agree? How am I supposed to answer?
Anyway,
we have to hurry before the class trial begins again. Yeah, you're right. Show me where the bodies are. I'm like really looking forward to like chapter 5's trial. Without spoiling anything, chapter 5 is crazy. I know it's over here, isn't it? Yeah. But his fingernails smell like hot Cheetos? Oh, 100%. 100%. And his skin is just covered with a very thick layer of grease. Hifumi and Taka. For a moment, Kyoko seemed to go rigid. But only for a moment.
so then...
Well then, let's get started. She crouched down next to Taka and without hesitation began poking and prodding the bodies.
I knew it.
The Monokuma file was right. They were killed using similar weapons. Her movements were so smooth, she was so calm. Seeing how comfortable she was actually made me feel a little more comfortable.
I see.
Kaido, I found something. You did?
Hey.
You remember the wristwatch Taka always wore in his left hand? You did?
Whew.
Are you so oblivious to the people around you? Do you dislike other people that much? No, that's not it. Anyway, she said he had a watch.
So then...
Take a look. It's broken! You can see the hands aren't moving, right? Most likely broke when he had his encounter with his assailant. Oh no! The wristwatch! It's broken! And if you notice, the hands are frozen at just past 6 o'clock. So that would mean the watch was broken sometime just after 6?
That's right.
But last night, Taka's watch definitely wasn't broken. Oh god, what was my voice for him? Because before my Taka voice was like papyrus, but my Mondo voice was more like angry. So it's more like, hey you, how long are you going to keep us waiting? Kind of thing. It's like tried to be like a mixture of both. Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. I cannot talk tonight, I swear. Levi, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I mean, Pap. Yeah, I guess that works. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
In other words...
So if it worked at 10 last night, it couldn't have been broken at 6 PM. Meaning it must happen at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning. I'm sorry, I cannot talk today. Normally I'm perfectly fine, but tonight for some reason I cannot talk. The trial starts soon. Be more focusing on the characters rather than me. Less voice acting. God, it is a mood. I cannot talk today.
However...
And that's not all. Look at Taka's left hand. He appears to be gripping something. You're right, there's something white in there.
Makoto.
Can you try and pry it out?
Because...
Rigor mortis has already set in. Boys are better suited to this kind of manual labour, right? It's a piece of paper, Kyoko. Okay. As much as I didn't want to, I grasped Taka's cold hand. The ice-cold hand was nearly enough to cause my heart to stop beating. And after some effort, I was finally able to free the object from his tightly clenched fist. Piece of paper?
Hey.
Was that all he had in his hand? Yeah, that's it. So Celeste, Hifumi, Taka and Hiro were all supposedly up before 7. I think so. That might... I don't actually remember. I'm pretty sure they did go through who was up before 7. But I don't remember. Just a little scrap of paper doesn't seem like much of a clue, does it?
Is that right?
I wonder about that. Kyoko then turned to Hifumi's body.
So then...
Let's check Hifumi's body now. Perhaps he's left us a few clues of his own. Oh yeah. The biggest problem I have right now is how the killer was able to move Hifumi's massive corpse from the nurse's office where we discovered to here at the repository. We've already gone through that. From the nurse's office, but... When we found the body in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. Yeah, it's an actual thing. Yeah, Taka's dead. Oh god, I don't know when you last watched. I don't know where we're up to. But yeah, he's dead. If this is a spoiler, maybe you probably should be watching this. I don't want to be the one spoiling anyone. But now they're spotless. Does that mean someone wiped his glasses clean? Who would do that and why? I'm acting like I don't know what's going on. I know exactly what's going on. I've played through this game enough times. Did you find anything?
Indeed.
I did. More than I expected, to be honest. Look at this. A wad of paper? You grab a hot shocky, Sean. You do that.
That's right.
Hifumi had it hidden on him. Hidden?
Indeed.
He'd stuffed it in his pants. So I can only assume he'd hid it on purpose, you see? His pants? Wait, so you...
Why is that?
It was just his pants, not like his socks or something. He's dead. I don't know what that means.
Hey.
Anyway, let's take a look at the paper. Go on, Makoto, open it up. When I think of how he stuffed it down his pants, it's like... It better be important, Hifumi, or I'd never forgive you for this. No? I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 AM.
So...
That sounds very familiar. That's it. It's the same thing Hiro said. Hifumi rose from the grave when he realised his glasses were dirty. When he was telling us the truth.
However...
Although it's not exactly the same, is it? Last night someone slipped a weird note under my door. And here's what it said. Quickly we've done this kind of a week in the universe. Honestly, a lot of people have died. I found a hole we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 AM. The time is different. Hiro told us that his note said to meet at 1 AM. But the note they were to Hifumi asked him to meet at 6 AM.
Is that right?
Hold on, just because Hifumi had the note doesn't mean it was meant for him. Huh?
So...
Part of this has been torn off, right? I think there's likely some meaning there. I mean, these glasses, they're literally just like blue light filter ones to make looking at a screen easier. Less strain on my eyes. I don't need them. I like how I think they look kind of cute on me, so I like them. That's literally the only reason why I wear them. Does it mean the part of it being ripped? Could you maybe explain it a little more? Think carefully.
Hey.
Why would he have been clutching that scrap of paper so tightly? I have no idea. Makoto, you absolute sponge.
So then...
What if it wasn't just a scrap of paper when he was holding it? What if it's just something more important? You wear glasses? I mean, I used to wear glasses, I just don't anymore. Because I don't need to. It's like my eyes were like very, very slightly long-sighted, so I had glasses for it, but it made no difference. And how would something important like that become a mere scrap of paper? That's what you need to answer.
Hey.
And while we're at it, I should tell you the one other thing. The two victims this time definitely had their handbooks on them. So the handbooks have nothing to do with how the murders were carried out. Not that there were any reason to think that they were connected to the killing in the first place. You You're saying I don't have to think about the handbooks this time, right?
Is that right?
If you didn't have to think about them at all, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to mention it. Be glad to see without them. I can't see the Chen is not that far from me at all. Oh god. Yeah, some people in my family have really bad eyesight. I think my eyesight's getting a bit worse. I think my eyes are getting slightly short-sighted. I think. I need to get that checked. A football-shaped eye, my... Oh, what, so astigmatism? That's exactly what I have. Like, my eye is like slightly like more like oval-shaped kind of thing. All I said was that they weren't used to help carry out the murders. Make them a point, however, where a handbook may play a role. Handbook may play a role? I don't think I understand. If you think it's important, better keep it in mind. E-handbooks, man. It's the truth. Yeah, I don't need to read everything out. Ding dong bing bong. Cool. Trial's gonna start. Less talking for me. That's good. My voice is killing me.
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's time for the class trial to begin! Like the bright burst of fireworks, like the flash of a soul clashing with life and death. And so, with no further ado, everyone please meet at the usual spot. Make your way to the red door on the first floor of the school.
God. Sassy trial. Did you guys click on this stream because I put Sussy Imposter in the title? I need to know, the people who have never been to one of my streams before, what was it that made you click? Was it the Sussy Imposter? Was it genuinely the fact I put Sussy Imposter in the title that made you click on the stream? Because I need to know this information, it's important. Long elevator. It's unfortunate, but I suppose this is where our investigation comes to an end. Voice actor Monokuma at an anime convention. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, so it genuinely was... Okay, so I need... Note to self, I've got to have more dumb words in titles. I'll bear that in mind for future. Thank you very much. Monokuma would be like, someone's been murdered? Take out the... It's party time. Yeah. I can really see him saying that.
Shall we go?
Well, we better get going. Okay. Let's fucking do this. Right. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered by the red door. And as soon as we were all there...
Monokuma appears!
Oh my god, Monokuma double cherry? Monokuma had a double cherry from Super Mario 3D World. It's multiplied? Sure, Tato just called the stream Reason Tato might be kind of sussy. Oh no, they're duplicating.
Wrong.
No, not multiplication. It just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I've multiplied. Can you guys tell which one's the real Monokuma? Can we just go on the elevator already? Kill it before it breeds.
Tough crowd.
You're not playing along. Along. Just the little along in brackets really reminds you of like Timmy and Tommy from Animal Crossing. You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you. Okay, fine.
Hey!
And if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train at elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's go.
Okay then, shall we? Wrong voice. Hold on, I'm not mentally prepared yet.
What the heck?
I never am. You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run over me anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins. Monokuma.
What the heck?
I've told you already, I didn't do it, for serious. That reminds me, did you ever find the other costume? Or the note? Well, no, but how unfortunate. It would seem we have our culprit.
Hey.
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
She's right, let's get down there first, and the story can really begin. That's a good idea. Let's do this. I can't let whoever killed Hifumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka, the one who killed two of our friends. The killer is... the Sussy Imposter. Pink. Someone right here. I'm just going to skip all this. I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk towards the elevator. Once everyone was aboard... Let kill Hifumi get away if you just try not to. Yeah, I think we can let Hifumi pass. But Taka... Taka's a fine character. I'd say he's B tier at best. The steel box began to move. clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. I really love this trial. This trial room looks really nice. When I see all of you guys gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
Just the worst.
Only because of you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
Well, what? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Rush me, of course I'm going to start it. I'd never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed class trial after this commercial break. I'd never hold on to you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get to your assigned seats. And so the curtain opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Trial time. No, Haley. Makoto's only the protagonist in this game. Different protagonists each time. I'm going to very quickly refill my bottle. Literally, I'll be right there by the fridge. But we are going to find out who the murderer is, and it's going to be fun. I'll be back in... I was saying I'll be back. I'm still here. I'm just getting a drink. If you're thirsty. And then we do the trial. The trial should last about 2.5 hours. Around that time, it does go on for a little while, this one. But not as long as like the later games. The later games are really long trials. This is a good trial. This is a good trial. I poured too much water into my bottle. Now it's probably going to go everywhere. I need to be careful it doesn't leak everywhere. That's strong. I don't like that. Did you not hear anything I said? Yassi boy kinda sus. Yassi boy is a little bit suspicious. Yeah, so it's actually like a thing we do here. Whenever anyone says the word suspicious, I have to squeak my little Among Us plush. Also very sparkly gloves. I heard that your water overflowed. No, it didn't overflow, I just poured a bit too much water in there. Right, I was pretty much just saying the trial's going to go on for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours or so. It's quite a long one. Right, so... we are at Peak Comedy, Amogos. Yeah, the bloody better Twitch TV things. We've also got Spampton, if you big shot all caps. Right, so I'm going to read through the... Thank you. I'm going to read through all the truth bullets. There are some good ones here. 17 of them. Let's do some reading. Right. The victims... I'm looking with 3 even. The victims are Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotaka Ishimaru. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. It is thought they were both killed with a similar weapon. Blue tarp. The tarp was found in the repository under Kiyotaka's lifeless body. It was apparently used to move Kiyotaka in order to avoid leaving any bloodstains. Repository dolly. The dolly was found when the body was rediscovered in the repository. The specific dolly had no handles, and the blood was found on one of its wheels. It is assumed that this is the same dolly that was in the equipment room, where Kiyotaka's body was originally discovered. Makoto, you sussy imposter, find the killer behind the 16 stab wounds to the chest, and reach heaven. Remember the Kato? Yes, the Kato. Hifumi's glasses. When they were first found in the nurse's office, Hifumi's glasses were covered in blood. However, when they were next seen in the repository, they were completely clean. Spotless hammer. Hammers of all shapes and sizes were found in the repository. One of them was found wet and had apparently been recently washed. Repository door. The door connecting the art room to the repository was designed to only open from the repository side. According to Aoi, Hina, it was locked during the search for the missing body. However, when the body was rediscovered, it had somehow been unlocked. Equipment room bloodstain. A puddle of blood was found in the equipment room where Kiyotaka's body was initially found. A tire track had been left behind in the blood. Glasses cleaning cloth. The cloth was found in the trash can in the nurse's office. It is branded with a popular cartoon character and was found with blood on it. One has to wonder if someone used it to wipe some blood away. Celeste's account. Hifumi's body disappeared when Celeste and Aoi left the nurse's office to use the bathroom. Apparently they weren't gone for more than a minute or two. Yasuhira's message. This is a note that Yasuhira wrote to get everyone to meet in the dining hall. Meet in the dining hall, it all says. That's all it says. The handwriting is remarkably neat and clear. Robo-Justice blueprints. These are the blueprints for Robo-Justice, which were found in Yasuhira's room. Robo-Justice costume. Celeste's Twitter account. No one but Yasuhiro could have possibly fit into the costume. In addition, anyone wearing it would not be able to see their feet or bend at the waist more than 90 degrees. Yasuhira's account. Apparently, Yasuhiro received a mysterious note last night which reads, I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 AM. Broken wristwatch. Kiyotaka's wristwatch broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock. It was confirmed that as of late last night, the watch still worked, which means it must have been broken the following morning when he was attacked. Kiyotaka's scrap of paper. Kiyotaka's lifeless hand was found clutching a small scrap of paper. The note Hifumi had. Hifumi had this note hidden on him. One edge of it appears to be torn. The note reads, I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 AM. E-handbook. Each student has their own e-handbook, which also acts as a card key. The owner's name is displayed each time the handbook is booted up. It is believed that no handbooks were involved in carrying out the murders this time. E. There you go, that's all of the truth bullets. Just making sure they're all there. I like reading through them just so everyone is on the same page. I'll set any skills that I have, cool and composed. That one is nice. That's all of them. A. Sports. Right, let's finish the preparation. Let's go find out who fucking killed those two. I don't like either of those two.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So,
Gaming.
your votes will determine the results.
Hopefully the audio's okay.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened.
And the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
Suspicious.
Don't try and deny it. You killed them.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
It is.
It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... For anything else, we have to make that clear. Right. Does anyone have anyone who doesn't already know what's going on? Does anyone have any guesses as to who the killer could be?
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are... No,
it doesn't make sense. Because the handwriting is wrong. It's the wrong handwriting.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
Good point, Makoto.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared.
Bro, Justice just means Leon again. Yeah, Leon's actually the killer again. God.
The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints,
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent.
Someone Akuma's gonna find out her alter ego. Maybe. Let's go once glasses. You can see on the frame Leon was here.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit?
Leon!
Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit.
All because he said suspicious individual.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
What the fuck do you think it was? Guys, who was in the suit? Hiro, Hina, or the Illuminati? Who was it? I don't think Toshi's here to answer the question. The Illuminati? Yeah? The Illuminati? That's right, they're all working behind the scenes to try and set me up. Those dudes are super scary, serious.
Shoot!
Yeah, it's Hiro.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
I could have said the truth. Exactly. It was the Illuminati.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What?
It's almost like I already knew that.
Now that's a bold assumption.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
The Mongols. If you rearrange the words Illuminati, it actually spells out Leon. Obvious solution's fake. Honestly, this case, it gets good. For anyone who hasn't seen this case before, it does get good.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto,
How was it moved?
Can you tell us what they were?
Blame Leon. That's fair. The things that were used to move Taka's lifeless body, they must have been... the blue tarp. Yeah.
I got it!
Still one more thing. The tarp and the dolly. Where's Sean?
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right? So, let's see if I can explain.
You also killed everyone else and everyone's gonna die.
Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
That's true.
It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body.
Well, it's actually Leon Monakim right there.
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository...
God. You right, Toshi?
So did the dolly.
The trial started about 10 minutes ago. All we've discovered is that whoever was in the Robo-Justice suit wasn't the same person who killed them.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
I have so much that I want to input to this, because I know exactly what's going on, but I can't.
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
Also, we found Hero in the Rubber Justice suit. He was stuffed inside of a locker. Nobody else could wear that suit. It perfectly fit him.
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
No.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Listen here, bitch.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
I've solved enough murders already. I've never been around. I've never had anyone sound so nice or been so mean. Maybe I can change their mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. God, already? I forgot there's one of these already.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
Why have we got one of these already? I forgot that's the
Lies will
case.
get you nowhere. Do your worst.
Oh, you have to reload,
You
shit.
miserable wretch.
Yes, you have to reload the thing now as well.
I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
There we go.
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Ha!
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
Yeah.
There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room.
The Illuminati option.
And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
A suspicious one.
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
It is. Does anyone know why? If I have a look at how the body, Taka, was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. Does anyone remember? It can be bent at the waist, yes.
Taka was killed in the equipment room.
The costume
And from there,
doesn't
the
bend
body
at the
was moved
waist.
to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a hand.
Well, yeah. All you'd have to do is bend over.
You can't bend in the suit.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low.
Do you bend over?
But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
Why is the bat in here? Can't see my feet at all. Suppose you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were
Damn
wearing
man,
such a
playing fighter.
rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
How come? You can't take it off by yourself. Hero's not strong enough. And once it's on, you can never take it off. What is it? You can't take the suit off by yourself. Hero wasn't strong enough to do that. And once the suit is on, you can never take it off. Here isn't strong enough. I mean, oh shit, no. I clicked it just in time, that's not the right one.
Taking off the suit was an option.
There'd be a game over if I didn't get that one right. Leon is the was in the robot suit, and is the mastermind, and also everyone else in the entire game. Leon is the fabric of reality itself. You can escape him. I am Leon. You are Leon. Everything is Leon. Everything is Leon. Leon. Yeah, you can't. Hero can't take it off himself. I don't think taking off the suit was an option, if you remember. I don't know what's up this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself?
Looking psycho with
Hero
Monokuma in
wasn't just
disguise.
making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
No.
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
Good point.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? The guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
He's a Discord moderator. What do you expect?
The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Yes, Kyoko. That's a great idea. Let's explore every single possibility.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every
We get
angle.
it. You're a nerd. Kyoko is already. I love Kyoko. She's cool.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up. So we went to look. That was around 8 a.m.
Clicked too early. So we went to look for everyone. At 8 a.m. we started looking for people.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect.
Suspect?
But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the 2nd floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor. And I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He went off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so we headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
And then...
Scream. Huh? What was that? Came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
I mean, it's so easy to forget about Toko. She's a very forgettable character. This can't be happening. Oh yes it can. Are we hallucinating on this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies.
Toko is the writer, the one that's also a serial killer.
And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
Oh, I think that was a joke. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not very... My brain's not functioning today.
think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka? And also uncover the truth. In this case, I have to find them no matter what. Love this track. Right.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Nope.
Shoot.
Done.
So, regarding...
I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after?
Taco, oh god.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering
I mean,
of the
I know
Justice
exactly what's
Hammers.
going on. Not everyone here
It's true
does.
that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious...
Oh, no, hang on, I'm done. Hang on. I forgot the order, hang on. I'm running from file 3. I know what it is I need to contradict. I forgot what the thing is.
I wonder if he...
Or perhaps it
I
was
think.
after?
We already know what order they were killed
No,
in.
we don't. I'm dumb. I've played through this game enough times.
So,
Why am I forgetting dumb
regarding Taka's
things?
death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death.
I'm being
See?
dumb.
So it's obvious
I'm
Taka came
dumb.
after.
The order that Justice Hammers were used to commit the murders.
So,
the
regarding
letter?
Taka's death,
Why be the
I
letter?
wonder if...
Yeah, but that's not it though. This is Yasuhira's message, which is this. That's what I was thinking, but it's not. We need Hira's account for that.
Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Oh, we can.
Taka came last.
Okay, we can memorize. That's a new thing. We can actually memorize truth bullets and shoot
What
them at a
makes
later
you say
time.
that?
I know how to do that. I just didn't think we were doing that yet. That's why I didn't remember.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
What? No, what order? Because the numbering of the Justice Hammers. What order? It gets confusing.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Is there any proof that proves that? So, Justice Ham. Justice Ham. So, what's the proof that proves Taka was killed first? There is indeed something. Does anyone remember it? The watch and the message. Next watch. Give me a H. Give me a H. Give me a fucking H. There we go. This is an easy gambit, yeah.
Now I understand.
Now I understand.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
You can't see because my head's in the way, but here you go, just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer.
Oh no, the
Because as of
wristwatch,
last
it's
night-
broken. Hey you, how long are you going to keep us waiting? It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. For him, at least, we're all safe.
Huh? What was that? We came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. Actually, Hifumi died, damn it. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Hero is a complete moron, I swear.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing. Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Fair. It's really hard to commentate over this game. It really is, especially when I know exactly what's going on. I've got no comments to make. We're just letting the characters speak.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed
Two
Hifumi
murderers.
or moved either of their bodies.
Okay. A theory.
On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
That's fair. A game theory. Oh my god.
In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's a very good question, Kyoko.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said...
We did, Makoto. No one's just picked up on it yet. Which is fair. We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and out. Get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It seems so.
His body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Are you guys ready to hear Kyoko's theory? And reveal what was possible to figure out during the investigation, but difficult. Because it's clever. If it's true, of course.
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
I freak out when New World Order starts playing. New World Order playing? Hell yes. I love this track. If the dead body were to move itself. Huh?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
To clean his glasses.
Alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
If Hifumi is still alive, is it really possible? Let's prove it. But yeah, it's possible to figure that out during the investigation, but it's not necessarily easy.
Are you saying that when we first...
What was Celeste's account? I'll go for more than a minute or two. Also, not technically grandma related with me. My friend made a little friend and even waiting server. Iron, the higher up you go, the better. Yeah, the higher up you go, the better for Iron. I think also, I don't actually know. But if you look up like all distribution charts, you'll find them. But typically find a mountain and then go high up. That's a good way of doing it.
There's a chance he was actually still alive.
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
Without... And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
But the body discovery announcement was only made once. Not much I'm sure of.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong.
No! Bullshit! Have you nailed Leon yet? No, but we've just...
the body discovery announcement that was made really intended
We've just
for
discovered
Hifumi?
that Hifumi was still alive. And then New World Order started playing, and then I freaked out.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail.
Detail.
But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
It's a very small tail. What is the name of the thing on the back of some animals' bodies? The tail. That's the extent my jokes go to. I am so not funny, my god.
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
When was the second body discovery announcement? The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. But when was the second announcement? Just after Hifumi came back to life? When both bodies were rediscovered? Or when Toko was unconscious? Just after Hifumi came back to life? When both bodies were rediscovered? Or when Toko was found unconscious? It's because of despair. That's a good one. I like that one. I've said that one so many times in the past, my god. So just after Hifumi came back to life, when both bodies were rediscovered, or when Toko was found unconscious. Anyone have any idea? See if anyone says anything. Okay.
I got it!
When both bodies are
We
rediscovered.
heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
The screen critic question joined the entire series. What twists there are to God.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
I think otherwise.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi is still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. What's the proof? Does anyone know the proof that Hifumi was alive? Because I know I do.
Well,
You need to do that. Illuminati's the
the
proof.
first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And
Glasses,
then,
indeed.
while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Bullshit!
No, that's wrong.
He cleaned them. He cleaned his glasses.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
It is really clever. Honestly, the trials in this game, like after, I guess, the second case in all Danganronpas, that's when the cases start to get really good. Actually, I think that's only in this game. I think in the second and third games, all the cases are really good and really well thought out. But I'd say the first two cases in this game are a bit weaker. But all the cases from this point on in Danganronpa, they're really good.
But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless.
Spotless.
And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Did you, Makoto? What was it? The glasses cleaning cloth. The anime thing with blood on it.
A gun!
Eh,
It was a glasses cleaning cloth
I don't know.
featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
the second case is good. It's debatable, that one. The first one is very introductory to Danganronpa. But like, I don't know.
One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things
To be
clear.
honest, I don't even know what my least favourite case would be. Trying to think about all of them, I don't know which one my least favourite would be. Because they're all really good.
This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it?
Spotless except for the numbers
Hifumi's, of
11037
course.
written on the glasses.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is...
Let's go, he was carrying on Discord Mog's Legacy of Princess Piggles.
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
Good point.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs
Yeah.
of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Who moved Taka's body? Hifumi? Taka himself? Or Sakura? I moved Taka's body. I, the great papyrus. No, it's Hifumi.
It could only have been Hifumi.
That's a good point. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be back in like literally a minute. It could have. I'll keep the music playing. I'll be back in literally like a minute. One sec. She never returned. The numbers 11037 covered her mirror from this day forward. We still don't know what they mean. Oh, don't get caught in the bathroom. I got fucking murdered in my bathroom. Sayaka style. Anyway, it could have only been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
Collect.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
I guess it does, Makoto.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced
So I
us
keep
all
that
he was
face.
dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Does anyone know the item he took from Taka? What did Hifumi take from Taka? Pink screenshot. He was the one of the assailants line for the last part. He was one of the ass. The thing that Hifumi saw from Taka, his life. Oh.
Shoot! I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
You didn't really miss a lot, Toshi. I don't know if you saw what happened when the bodies were moved around and things. But you didn't really miss too much.
Hidden note?
The last you saw was Hero come out of the locker. What was the first thing you saw before you left? Do you remember what the last thing we were doing was before you left? I'll try and fill you in.
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What?
In his...
In his pants?
Yes.
Yes, his pants.
No, before you left. So you watched the investigation up to Hero leaving the locker. So when you came back when Hero was leaving the locker. So that means you knew about Kyoko's little investigation. You don't remember. Okay, so the investigation started with, well, finding the bodies again. We found the bodies. I mean, it's the investigation. You didn't really miss much. We're just talking over what we found. You didn't miss the bodies being moved. The investigation is just finding the clues which we're discussing. I can go back over the truth bullets if you really want. You saw the bodies, okay. So you saw, yeah.
Okay, well,
you know most
forget
of the
about
things.
the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
Okay, well forget about the pants for now. Alright, Makoto, I will. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 AM.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to
his
go.
Pants. It really is.
Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 AM.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
So the killer got in contact with someone besides Hiro. Who could that have been? Taka, Hifumi's pants, or me? Hifumi's pants. His pants? Are you saying his pants are alive? Are pants people? Are there pants people? You know, even if there are, I'm sure they're not here in the school. It's calm down.
Shoot!
Hifumi's pants, they live.
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... I got it!
Taka.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Why would you draw out TikTok? You can just browse TikTok.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Which that's just TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. Oh my god, there is a Mario Kart track named after TikTok. TikTok clock. Mario Kart DS. Inside joke is seriously scary, but still, I can't let it get to me. Pants people in the Illuminati what's getting this credit into is Leon the lead. Oh my god. Right.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
I don't know how I proved that. Oh wait, no, hang on. No, I do. I think.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended must have been Huffy!
But remember what the
Yeah, he
note
really
said.
doesn't.
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No!
Bullshit! The note does matter.
No! There absolutely is a connection.
Yes, there is.
What the hell are you talking about?
The hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet.
It had everything to do with TikTok. Have you seen those wacky dances?
The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
He took it.
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
TikTok more like Tic Tac. Oh, get a Tic Tac. I'd love a Tic Tac.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on
You
Hifumi.
don't say! There is Hifumi holding a scrunched up piece of paper with a small corner ripped off, and Taka holding a small piece of paper course they're gonna... Makoto, you really are a sponge.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely
Discord mod
dead.
lives on!
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then,
That's an ass, that's what he
who
was.
killed Hifumi?
I mean, Hifumi's always an ass.
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
No, you call it a walrus.
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
Hifumi came back to life for like 30 seconds. It doesn't really matter, no. I guess he wasn't completely dead after being attacked. But, yeah.
And what might that be?
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi!
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
Yeah, Monokuma does love to watch. I am the walrus.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Some semblance of a brain.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
Wow.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
It really
Is it
isn't
not
hard.
possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
What was used to kill Hifumi, guys? It's another thing which you find out during the investigation, but probably don't remember. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Leon was used to kill Hifumi. It's always Leon. I have to find the truth.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Justice Hammer
Was it
1037.
Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
No.
Shoot!
What was used? Was
Speed,
it just
speed,
maybe
speed, speed,
Justice
speed,
Lab?
speed, speed,
There's one
speed,
that
speed,
powers
speed,
the
speed, speed,
culprit.
speed,
How do
speed,
nobody-
speed, speed, speed.
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about. Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
No.
No, that's
Bullshit.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously?
A
different
spotless
weapon?
hammer. Do you guys remember? There was one hammer in the repository where the bodies were found. That, because we figured out that there were a bunch of hammers and mallets in the repository where the bodies were found, and they looked identical to the Justice Hammers, just not painted. But they were all like dirty, like they've all been used and all dusty and things. But there was one which is all clean, very clean, and it was like even wet. That must have been what was used to kill him.
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris.
Hammer.
But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder.
Murder.
If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Banjanista Jack
Hold on a
self-promo.
moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone
Yes.
would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, didn't we?
That's fair, Rose. That's fair. I paused for your sake, but you're probably not looking at the stream anyway. Play chapter 3. Complete it. It's a good chapter. We did talk about how there would be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but...
Based on the Even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true.
No, that's wrong.
That's not impossible, because there were two murders. So,
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
I think it was Haley who suggested earlier that two murders could also mean two killers. I think that was Haley who suggested that.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes,
Let's
the
keep
idea
quiet.
of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
And two murders does indeed mean two black-ins. So two people who could be set free.
The payoff for
But
working
one's dead.
together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in the scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
I guess so, yeah.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. What if the murderer is your mother? Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Who murdered Hifumi? Because we know that Hifumi killed Taka. We know that. But who killed Hifumi? So this one, it was actually quite hard to figure out. Like, there's not a lot of clues pointing towards who the killer is, but there is enough to say who it is. There are enough clues to tell who the killer is. Vampire Lady? Who's Vampire Lady? But does anyone have any guesses? Let's see, there's Sakura, Kyoko, Hina, Hiro, Byakuya, and Celeste. And also Jill. Is there anyone you're suspicious of, guys? Suspicious? There is only one person who stands out, but it can be pretty hard to tell who that is. You feel like Hina? Okay. So what makes you say Hina? I don't think it'd be Byakuya or Jill. Okay, so think about who definitely is in the clear. So who would have definitely been in the clear for killing Hifumi? Like, ignore Taka, because we know that was Hifumi. But who would have killed Hifumi? There's only one person who really could have done it. Yeah, Sakura was with Hina. Byakuya was with Toko. So that leaves Hiro, Celeste, and Kyoko. I feel like either Yassi Boy or Goth Gambler. Kyoko, I doubt. So Celeste. Yeah? It seems like most of you are thinking Celeste. Do you guys want to go for Celeste? Yes, Makoto did it. Okay, so you guys are saying Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
It was Leon!
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
We get this figured out. I don't actually know, Haley. Some
I
dumb
really
comment.
do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
I mean, there is actually a couple things that she said during the investigation, which it's very hard to pick up on. But once you know that she said it, if you were to replay the game, you pick up on it every single time. I will say what it is soon, because I think Byakuya actually points it out.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
When we played, yeah, actually, yeah, I can't remember what it was that made you think it. But when Sean was playing, well, I was playing, but Sean was watching, but telling me what to do. Sean was like immediately suspicious of Celeste. I can't remember why though. You were immediately suspicious of her. Hifumi saying Hero's name though, I think it was about. That may be explained. Sean is good at Danganronpa. Honestly, we've played all 3 games and Sean's really good at it. What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual, the screaming, and the paper hidden in Hifumi's pants. What is it that those two had in common? During the first trial, ever my goal is to vote myself out. I swear, I found the body, let's split up. She screams like, yeah. Yeah, she was the only one screaming to people to, you know, split up and things. But encountering the suspicious individual.
I got it!
No one else has.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
No one actually saw this suspicious individual. She was the one in control of the situation the entire... Yeah, she was in full control.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand
I have a bit of...
were Celeste and Hifumi.
There are a few other points which I don't know gets brought up in the trial. If it doesn't, I'll say. But it's crazy.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Alright.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Have you played this game before, Levi? I can't tell if you have or not.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs. Daddy, sorry, Daddy, sorry, Daddy, sorry.
We headed to the 2nd floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the 3rd floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
Blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as they screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. He told me he was getting
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split up into 2 groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor. Everything's going according to plan.
No, it's not split. Yeah, I mean, that would completely fuck it all up.
Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office,
Oh,
who
yeah.
we now know was only pretending to be dead.
This bit here, this is the thing that you don't typically pick up on until after this is pointed out. Then you pick up on it every single time, because this is a massive giveaway. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. Yeah, this was good. I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any
not this
doubt
bit.
in our minds.
I think he says that after.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
This bit here. So this is a very big mistake which you don't pick up on, like at all. But it's a huge mistake and it is a huge giveaway.
I didn't even catch it myself when
Massive
you first
giveaway.
said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
Sean knows exactly what it is.
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're gonna die, just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too. But
Does anyone know why
I
that's
don't
suspicious?
understand what's so strange about
Does
it.
anyone know why that's a lot more than suspicious?
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
No one told her Taka was dead.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. What was he alluding to?
All I said was,
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Those guys. She said we're gonna die, just like those guys died. No one told her Taka was dead.
They must
No one told
really
her.
be enjoying
But
this.
she knew. She knew Taka was
Enjoying
dead.
the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
They must be positively elate. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Just like your... No, that's wrong.
Celeste's gonna fucking die.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys die.
Everyone is literally in a trial for murder. It's a life or death game. Their lives are on the line. Me, catch 'em. Okay. I mean, it's fucking good music. If I'm in a literal life and death game and that music starts playing, I will do exactly the same shit.
When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Suspicious. Hey, Ham. Yeah, still alive. Still alive. You've missed the trial. I'd say maybe don't continue, I guess, unless you want spoils on what's going on. You guess Celeste? Oh, fine, fuck it. Yeah, it was Celeste.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw.
I love how that's the one everyone goes for. Fucking Among. I mean, it's a good one to be fair, but we also have Among Us, which isn't quite as good. You can't go wrong with a bit of Among Us. Thought it was Leon. Yeah, I'm sorry, user, but you might have been a bit wrong there. Unless Leon was just working with them.
Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Hey, explain that.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
Celeste imposter this entire time.
If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, just every character just Leon. I love that. Just everyone in this game is just Leon. Suspect. The only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect are dancing, Hifumi and the suspect had been drinking, or Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. What seems more likely? They're dancing, they've been drinking, or Hifumi's dragging him away. I love how we've turned Leon into the ultimate villain. I mean, that's his real ultimate talent. Yeah, they were drinking, I'm sorry, Sean. Yeah, drunk. There we go, drink. Alcoholism. Born the Leon molded to it. Yeah, so dragging the... I mean, fuck it. No, I don't really think that's right.
Shoot!
Oh, there's no funny dialogue for drinking? Aw.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange
Oh,
costume
100%.
might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
Is it? Rosaloo Bite is now playing Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
Hifumi was
Finally, she's on
dragging
chapter
him away?
3.
Ridiculous.
Impossible.
Is it?
Alright, Kanto.
I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate
Then
you.
shut your mouth. Is that really possible? Ba-da-ba-boom. Boom. Ba-da-ba-boom.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
Yes, she can.
No, that's wrong.
Yes, you can. That's how it was designed.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
It doesn't bend at the waist. Stand up gay.
Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
You can't do bend over.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Wow. Having to use the checkmate pun on the ultimate gambler.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
What happened to her? This is the part where a voice actor pops off. There are a handful of times in Danganronpa where when you accuse someone, their voice just completely changes. This is one of those times.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
She is like onto her like last bit of hope. Hey Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yasuhiro. Some of her accent changed.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
You see, Celeste, Yasuhiro is a very botched pronunciation of Leon. Oh shit, oh fuck, it was 11037 all along. Look at him. You can't see him. To the right, there he is, looking all angry. He's like, what? I didn't do this. Stupid, 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 stupid. I'm not even funny, who am I even trying? Anyway.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us.
This is a good one. Who picked up on how Hifumi used to refer to people?
How did he refer to each of us?
He said for serious a lot. He gave everyone nicknames. Or he said people's last names. How did he refer to people? Yeah, he gave titles, but that's not an option. He said for serious, gave nicknames, or said last names. Now give him for another room by throwing a hammer through a window. Surnames, yeah. He used last names, he used surnames.
That's right.
So,
our last names. He called us all by our last names.
So why would he try and refer to Hiro by calling him Yasuhiro? Because then he would say Hagakure.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Indecent? Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to.
No reason?
And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have said it any different to normal because that's how he speaks. He refers to people by their surnames. He doesn't do the first names. But as he just said there, we don't know Celeste's real name. We've been introduced to her as Celeste, but she's also said Celestia Ludenberg. But...
What did you just say?
Yeah. Her real name is Leon Kawata, the ultimate baseball star.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well? Do I?
Yeah.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Listen, the one thing I have in this case, Hifumi just so happened to learn her real name. And he just so happened to choose a name you know would understand his last words. I guess. I mean, maybe he went to say who it was before he died, but he died before saying it, I guess. Or maybe she told him the name so that he says Yasuhiro, just in case. I guess, I don't know. I have to do something to make her accept it. But no, we don't know her name. Let's find out her name. How can we figure it out? How can we find out her last name?
He wanted us to know the killer's last name. Yasuhiro.
How can we do it?
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
it would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
Bullshit.
No, that's wrong. That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to help you score life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it'll display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. And it's not your everyday notebook, it has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened?
You have no way to contradict me. Are you sure about that?
Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning.
Stupid.
Crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Right. Closing argument. Let's fucking do it. Right. So Act 1. We have Hifumi talking to the I guess the mastermind. No, not mastermind, because that just feels general. Mastermind. Fucking hell. Hifumi talking to the killer. And then they make a deal. So we have these two doing a deal. So that's what I wanted the money. It's gambler it all. Yeah, she's the ultimate gambler. In Act 2, we have I guess Hero walking in. No. I'd say this one for now. I'm not sure. Post the other posters on there. Oh no, 1 in the morning. Yeah, so that one goes there. This is at 1 in the morning. It's 1 in the morning. He walks in. He's all like, "What the fuck?" Then he gets fucking knocked out, and then gets stuffed into the costume. And then we have Celeste, the killer, getting ready to take the picture, and makes it look like he's being dragged away. Act 3. You have Taka / Mondo, whatever he is, looking at his watch. It's just past 6. And there's Hifumi. Then Hifumi comes out, bonk! Gets fucking murdered. With Justice Hammer 3. No. 4. It's 4. Justice Hammer 4. Yeah, honestly, it's really cool. It's really cool. So then we have the killer talking to Makoto, showing in the picture, and then everyone goes over to the library, where Hifumi claims to have been attacked with Justice Hammer 2. Shut up, Pam. Been attacked with Justice Hammer 2. Goes to the nurse's office to apparently heal up, even though it's completely fine, where he then grabs a bunch of blood, covers himself in it, and then he ultimately... there's nothing for playing dead. Oh yeah, Justice Hammer 3. Justice Hammer 3. There's two killers. Yeah, there was 2 killers. Hifumi and Celeste. Yeah, just a fucking tornado of blood. Then we all discover Hifumi's body at exactly the same time these guys find Taka's. And then Hifumi sneaks around the school, wraps up Taka's body in the tarp, puts it onto the dolly, and then he proceeds to push it. Gets to the repository, takes him off, and then he's all happy because he just pulled it off. Then when Celeste is like, "Nah, fuck you," bonk. And then she's there. Oh, no, that's not the one. And then she's there. After killing Hifumi, both jobs are done, and she's just pulled off the master crime.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
It's always Leon.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Leon's the killer.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
How did they get to the pool room locker? They'd have to go through one of the locker rooms. Whose handbook would they have used? Because they can't go through two at once. And also Hiro. I'm sure they wouldn't have been allowed to drag Hiro through without his handbook. There's a loophole in this. Monokuma, that's not very fair. 3 people went into one locker room with only one handbook. These are the types of things you pick up on after playing the game 5 times over. Like before, in the first case, when Makoto discovered Sayaka, when Mondo and Sakura went to go find Sayaka, they went into Makoto's room because they knew it was she was in Makoto's room, but the nameplates were switched. So why did they walk into what they thought was Sayaka's room, even though they knew she was in Makoto's room? I don't get it. These are the things I pick up on. Anyway. Bonk.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder.
But no, like, I don't know anyone who's ever pointed those things out. I played the game enough times to have been picked up on those things, but still. Bro.
The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
Taka was Sans on a Telso with 10 in one hit. You didn't dodge that one.
The reason
look
Hammer
at
number 4 was used
the eye.
was to create confusion about the order
He's
of
got
the
a blue
crimes.
eye. It must be Sans.
So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken.
I mean, now I think about it, why did no one pick up on the fact? Like, one of the big parts of this case was the fact that, you know, Taka actually died before Hifumi. But surely that would be easy to figure out, just feel their bodies. Hifumi would have just died, so his body would still be warm. Taka died at 1 in the morning, so his body would be freezing. Just feel the bodies. Why did no one think of doing that? Why am I picking up on all of these things? The deal with the Justice Hammers was to disguise which order they were killed in. So basically Celeste said she was attacked with Justice Hammer 1, then Hifumi said he was attacked with Justice Hammer 2, both survived. But then what happened was Hifumi was supposedly killed with 3, and then Taka was supposedly found and killed with 4. But really, Hifumi was killed after Taka. So it just made things a bit more confusing. Kyoko even felt around the body.
They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the
I
library.
mean, everyone's a fake detective. I mean, no one here's a detective, but still.
This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these two incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did.
To make it more confusing as to when they were killed. Because the obvious assumption is to think, oh yeah, it's going up in size, because each one goes up in size. Yeah, to disguise the order. That's exactly it. Anyway.
We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found.
Hifumi must be really stupid to not figure out he's going to be killed. Because he made himself look like he's been killed. So in his mind, how is he going to get away with that? How would he get away with murder if he's supposedly dead? Because all it would take would be for him to, you know, because he would have to show up to the trial if he's alive. He would have to show up to the trial and everyone would be like, hang on, you're alive. You were dead. So, surely it would be, he would have to figure out, hang on, I'm playing dead, everyone thinks I'm dead, someone's going to kill me. But he didn't think that. He's dumb. I'm picking up on everything.
Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time.
I'm picking apart things that no one has figured out. Like, at all. I've never heard anyone pick at these things. Like, these things, they're not parts of the case. Like, they're not needed. You don't need to know these things. Because I've played through this game enough times, and I only just picked up on it. Like, these things don't make sense. It's a plot hole.
So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
Pretty stupid of him. How did he get away with it? Bonk!
Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them.
Oh.
And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Okay. Right. Biggest...
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball pro. Amateur lore.
I lost?
She lost.
I lost?
She doesn't know what losing's like.
When was
He
the
retires
last
well.
time I was forced to utter such words?
She's the ultimate gambler. She doesn't know what losing's like.
They hang heavy around my neck.
I'm sure Kilor was the murderer.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko Yasuhiro. Her name is Taiko Yasuhiro. Except for the true mastermind, Leon. Taiko Yasuhiro.
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag
Voice
on.
changes again. Celeste cookies. Maybe. Maybe.
Interesting.
She's gonna be turned into something. That's for sure. And anyone knows how she dies. Ooh. She's been turned into something. I didn't drag this on. This is just a long chapter.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin.
Get more 1037.
Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay.
Oh, fair.
If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote.
Please locate your lever and give it a yank.
And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened?
Me and Sean go, no, 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 no.
Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
All I will
What's
say...
it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I will say chapter 4 execution. Yes, chapter 4, I will say overall chapter 4 is very good. And chapter 5 and 6 are amazing. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The black in this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme, is Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro. How many chapters? There are 6. Six total. But 5 and 6 are where things start to get amazing. 5 and 6 are really good. Way better than this one. Chapter 4 is where things start. Oh, I say that every single chapter, but the last half of the game is really good. Like in all Danganronpa games, the last 3 chapters are really, really good. But yeah.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
She really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would be happily agree to commit murder. I'm sure she relies on her specialty. Lying. I really have, Ham, but honestly I do mean it when I say the second half of the game is where things start to get really good. Because by now, all of the characters, they're all settled, they know exactly what's coming, and there's very little new things going on, because we all know what's going on. Someone dies, trial. So chapter 4 onwards is where things start to really change, and it's good. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
And did you use, I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice, I used her alter ego. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name. But it was the one thing that Hifumi and Taka are both super into. Does she mean... she's not alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
And you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we all had our meetings about how I'd disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. Oh my god, his room. Oh, what are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It's about what is stolen. You know who did it.
What?
are you okay
It was
with
Taka.
this?
He stole it. What? Although Bear complains about being left out.
So then,
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken, you know what, to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
as for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did.
as for me,
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then, it's hard for me to even say, he abused me.
What?
Cool. I don't want to read that out. But it was all a lie, of course. This is Celeste. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
An absolute crap. You don't fucking say. Yeah, of course it was a lie. This is Celeste. I mean, I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
most
Wait,
unfortunate.
please. If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands.
Actually,
Taka was planning to use her to escape. Yeah, I mean, this is Celeste. Are you really surprised? And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean. Taka was going to try to kill you.
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. He said the F word. I'm going to take a shower. that bastard. Bastard.
Honestly,
Can we allow him to continue these barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I?
I swear I will save her!
Stupid.
actually,
Then would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what has been stolen. And escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why did you supposed to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's it.
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What's Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you actually let him? Oh, that's a good point. I forgot this actually gets discussed.
Are you okay
That's simple.
with it?
After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once everyone showed up, I told him to say he's been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. Did he really believe that? Well, of course, he wasn't. That wasn't all there is to it. I explained it to Hifumi. The plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. Seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end...
So you had planned to kill him all along? But of course, there would have been no point in my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That is a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Nice and lovely,
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what makes you think? What makes you Then what made you take things this far?
What the
Is it
heck?
really just for money? You talk the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. For the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But
all along you've been saying how you want to escape living here, except living here.
You little
Obviously that
bitch.
was a lie. Wah.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hate it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You
I wanted
little
to get out. Every
bitch.
day was fresh torture. Do you know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. What was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. Castle? And half of them look like Byakuya. And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. I was going to make them all dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Who is it that called her vampire girl? Yeah, I mean the one there at the bottom. Like, it does look like Byakuya. Get that dream in hell. Vampire lady. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. Danganronpa Decadence. Releases tomorrow on Nintendo Switch.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life, that was my only dream. My only goal. That's what life is all about. Oh god. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
You asked me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavour. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
That's all there is to me, so it makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realise you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people, I can even form my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. Yeah, Monokuma is pretty much the only character that returns in every single Danganronpa. Dangali grandma. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's right,
indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I'd like to come back as whatever that is.
hey,
You just get executed again. So I smiled. Then Marie. Oh shit, Marie! I didn't pick up on Marie. I mean, Celeste wants to be Marie. Fair. I mean, who doesn't? When she did it, she looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills! Chills!
You all done?
Chills!
Okay, let's get rolling. The blackened disturbed the peace. I must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got.
It's punishment time.
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way.
She gave us a locker key. So I guess that must be where Alter Ego is. Gonna go open everything to eat cake.
Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again, in another life.
Death, 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 death. So, what's gonna happen to Celeste? Sorry, Tycho. Death, 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 death. The burning of the Versailles witch. Was it Versailles? I don't know. Burn the witch. Cook the cookie. Cookie time. I'll burn you alive. Uno reverse. Oh shit. She's enjoying it. She's enjoying it. Not anymore, bitch! Time to put that fucking fire out. So no, she's not being turned into cookies. She's being turned into a fucking pancake. Oof. She was cooked and then squished. Yeah. So, hang on. Yeah, so Danganronpa executions, a lot of them, actually, they're a lot more than what they seem on the surface. So the good thing, not the funny thing, but the really cool thing with Celeste's execution is that if you actually talk to her more, she explains how, I think she was like, if she could choose any way she'd die, she'd be like burned like a witch. Something like that. And that's how it started. That made her happy. She had a smile on her face. She was enjoying that because that was the way she wanted to die, being burnt alive. But then Monokuma had to change that, having a huge ass fire truck coming along to put the fire out that then crushes her. That is what she hated. I know in like Leon's as well, Leon's isn't that dramatic. It's just baseball's for baseball star, but he hated baseball. He was the best at it, but he hated it. So being shot with a load of them just reminded him, with every single shot reminded him how much he hates it. Mondo, there wasn't really anything special to it. I don't understand the whole joke behind the butter thing. I don't think the butter had any relation to him. I think that was just a joke. So dramatic because he's still alive out there. But no, also future executions in this game and also later games, they are good. But yeah, Celeste's fucking dead. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends and I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world and so more people had to die. Extreme! You guys are still young. You need to place more value in your lives.
What are you gonna do?
And here I thought you guys were going to pass the torch of hope onto the next generation.
Let me out
I don't care about hope. I'll throw it in the trash if you guys let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you going to make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, okay, let's see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste.
Hey!
So what's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Fucking love this track. Boom, boom, boom. Answer me, what did you do to my body? Oh man. Oh jeez, oh man, oh jeez. What did you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I get out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. Yeah, I was on the server at like 3 in the morning last night, and Zeph was there, and I kept on singing this. It plays a lot more the later in the game you go. It's literally like the plot twist kind of song. Whenever there's like any plot twists or oh shit moments, it starts playing. So it really you start to love it. You guys can go and enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
See ya! Using the top half of her body. Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although, it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave you?
So...
Most likely, it's the key to open one of the dressing room lockers. Huh? What? And that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey!
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, but go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey.
I'm going to go alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
So...
Do you have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? It's all the rest of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. If the end of this chat to make the most low-hanging fruit joke. Oh yeah. Thank you, Byakuya.
Well then.
It's up to you now.
Yo!
You go to the dining hall, okay? We're gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we?
So then...
We need to get into that locker. She took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You really came.
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I've never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. As Sakura and Yasuhiro just fade out of existence. I did what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best. Please just wait a while longer. That's also something cool that happens in Chapter 4. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have the opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what were you trying to do on your own or here at school? Doing your own here at the school?
You...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, it's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? This makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without hesitation. When you do that...
Indeed.
It's only natural to think that I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too? No. I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious people believe in their friends, right? So I want you to tell me. So fucking cringe. But still. Well, weed. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. Cringe. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. And
that's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she had told with my own 2 eyes. So I waited for nighttime to go. And when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? Boys' bathroom. Boys' bathroom. I've been in too many of these. Right in the back. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. You, gendered bathrooms, I know, right? The secret Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? She said it was way back in the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet. Suddenly, as if I were being yanked in. At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It's a room! Huh? It turns out the back was like a revolving door and I made my way to the other side. Other side. Just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the second floor there's a storage closet. And way in the back of the closet there's a secret room. So this is the secret room. But what's in here? Ooh. There's a lot of things that seem rather important. There's a bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out on the file, and I turned my attention to it. What's this? You can't see because my face is in the way. You must not leave, that's what it says. You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation, it's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? A strange time running out through my head. I felt like I was shaking my brain back and forth. And then darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I don't know how long it had been. The fuck was that? I love how whenever anything happens, everyone says it's Leon. But oh shit, who the fuck was that? What's going on? Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness? That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. An empty bookshelf. Empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone. What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread through the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back towards my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. Huh? The farther I walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry. I can't see it in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that... The chapter's going to end in a second, by the way, guys. As if from a vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint, but undeniable. Sound. It's coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame towards the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. Here in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The cliffhanger indeed. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Before me, there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. Oh, you can't really see properly. No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. Sakura is sans Undertale. Honestly, I completely forgot she had a blue eye. It's the wrong eye, but if you mirror the image, it's fine. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay, but you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Could it be Mastermind Spires? Next Generation Legend, stand tall, galactic hero. The end. It's a shit title. You received the Super Robo Justice present. And that is a great place to end off. And it's Leon killed Sayaka. We know Leon killed Sayaka. Immediately it just shows Leon. Anyway. So, what do you guys think? Chapter 3 was an interesting one, but let me tell you, spoiler alert, Chapter 4 gets really good. So what just happened? Celeste died. She gave Kyoko the key to the locker that Alter Ego was in. We got Alter Ego back. But then Kyoko tells us that at the back of the boys' bathroom, toilets, there is a hidden room. We go check out the hidden room, and there is a bookshelf just full of documents, really important things. But there was one that says you cannot leave. No, you must not leave. Makoto gets fucking bonked by some mysterious, suspicious individual. And then he walks downstairs and sees Sakura and Monokuma fighting. Maybe the spy is Sakura. And that gets cut off there. So, chapter 5, yeah, honestly, chapter 5 is really good, but I'm like for serious now. Chapter 4, 5, and 6 is where things get really good. 5 and 6 are really good. So 4 is great, 5 and 6 are amazing. Honestly, if you enjoy chapter 3, you're going to love the next ones. It gets really good. And there's, because like now, they're actually going to start putting in more of the story too. You have to like figure out what the fuck's going on kind of thing. It gets really good. Like really good. I know I keep saying it, but I played through this game enough times. I know when things get good. I love this series. Danganronpa's really pog. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm going to find someone to raid. But yeah. As for streams this week, there's no stream tomorrow. But Saturday's stream will be the one where we do the Season 2 send-off on the server. That's going to be a sad one. Yeah, I know it's lost its meaning, but I promise you, I genuinely mean it this time. Chapter 5 and 6 are the really good ones, and Chapter 4 is pretty good. It's really good. Up to this point, Chapter 4 is going to be the best one, but then 5 and 6 are even better than that one. And that's me genuinely saying it this time around. Who's live? But yeah, no stream tomorrow, and Saturday will be the Season 2 send-off. It's going to be the big one. Yeah, there's no more padding on the daily life either, by the way. From this point, even if you don't really enjoy the daily life streams, you're going to enjoy it from this point on. Chapter 4, it's actually, I feel like the Chapter 4 daily life isn't that long. It doesn't feel that long. Alright, that's fine, Levi. We'll be ending off like now anyway. But yeah, it was nice having you here. Next Danganronpa stream on Tuesday, by the way, guys. Danganronpa Chapter 4 we're doing on Tuesday. But yeah. Who's live? Does anyone know anyone who's live? Because I do not. It's been a very good Dangly Grandma stream. But no, does anyone know anyone who's live? Because I really have absolutely zero idea. Everyone I'm finding is just playing Hypixel. I don't really like rating Hypixel streams because they're just nothing special. Is Leon live? I don't think he's live. I think he's a little bit too dead for that. Let's watch the test. We all did it. What, on Twitch? She streams on Twitch. She doesn't stream on Twitch, does she? Oh yeah, new account. That's a new name. Okay, Raider. It's been a while. Okay. But yeah, it's been a great stream. I hope to see you all on Saturday for the Season 2 send-off. It's going to be a big stream. The end of the Danganronpa. But yeah. See you guys.
Alright, we're doing Twitch Blood Falls, everyone. Yo, Libby! Hi, Libby! How's it going? It's been so long. Oh my god. It has been so long.